Welcome everybody to a special mini-series here on the Spirit and Soul Healing Podcast. And I've been inspired to invite some guests on. Today we have Katrina, and we will be flowing through a beautiful energy therapy session. And this is an opportunity for her to receive healing and insights and to integrate experiences. And it's also an opportunity for all of us to receive wisdom and a healing as well. So in that, you might say a healing as well, but what happens is if you receive a message that you also can bring into your life, that can be a catalyst and ignite your own healing. Also, the energy that comes in is very strong and dedicated for all that are present. So if you're listening or tuning in the future, you can still access that light frequency and feel the peace from it to, again, start a healing of your own. So thank you so much, Katrina, for being here.
Absolutely.
I feel really just grateful and honored that you are able and willing and feeling that calling to share your experience with us, in a sense, again, that it helps the collective. And I also really hope that you feel a deep level healing experience. So I like to tune in. I like to begin by connecting in. So let's just take a few breaths, and I'm setting the space. I'm doing a final little prep of my energy, and then also another assessment of the space. And then I'll share for you who is here. So we all have spiritual teams, and that consists typically of guides, angels that I call like guardian angels, archangels, sometimes ascended masters, and soul family. So I'll let you know who steps forward as the main support team, members of your support spirit team today. And then I will share with you the messages as I'm looking at your energy field, the messages that they have for you. Okay, so just go ahead and relax. This is the easy part for you. Is that fun and easy part? Yeah, so, okay, so one moment here. Okay, so if everybody also would like to take a relaxing breath, and I will vocalize kind of the messages that pour out of my heart as I connect. And it's inviting in the light, the love, the divine consciousness, and feeling all of the peace and support that's coming in. And I'm receiving the message that it's a trying time on earth right now. There's a lot of commotion. And even in the astral realm, there's a lot of kind of like chaotic energy, a lot of movement of energy, frequencies and vibrations from the collective of those whom are in a physical body, but also beings who are not in a physical body. And so they're sharing with us this awareness to kind of be like, no, you're good. Like you've tuned into it. So if anybody's picking up on that, and now they're bringing peace around. And who I feel is here today, specifically for Katrina, Archangel Metatриel, Michael, Sandalphon, Raguel, Ariel, and Azrael. So beautiful team. I also hear that your guides are here and they're stepping forward. You have a masculine and a feminine. We'll call them master guides, meaning they're your main, strongest spirit guides for this life. And then you have some runner guides that are showing themselves, and runner guides help orchestrate and organize. They go forward in time, or they go look over here and look over there to access information and help set up moments like for connections when we say, oh, that was really serendipitous, or like, whoa, the synchronicities. Well, your runner guides help set that up. So you have a beautiful team around you. And I also feel the energy. It's a familiar energy of family, and it feels like a grandfather energy. So this could be your grandfather in this life, or it could be a guide or a family member that you connect with in that kind of relationship. So you have a lot of guidance around and a lot of support. And they're showing me now your energy filled. So clairvoyantly, if anybody's watching, I close my eyes a little bit so I don't get distracted. But it helps me. So let's see. clairvoyantly looking at your energy field. We're scanning and I'm seeing some energetic vibrations in the fourth and fifth layers of your aura. So we'll be working to smooth those out. It just looks like a little bit of uncertainty, a little bit of anxiety. And if it gets closer to your body, it can start to feel like this anxious vibration at your heart or your solar plexus. So really you're processing information, and they want to bring us back into, for you and for myself and for others, when this just hits out of nowhere and it, like, you maybe you wake up with it, or all of a sudden it comes through and you're like, I didn't even talk to anybody like for the past hour and a half. That what they're sharing is, we as sensitive, intuitive beings are starting to feel an enhancement of the energetic field that is related to the collective. So I don't know if like that's been happening specifically to you, or a message for listeners. Okay. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
For a while, actually, I would say, but especially so over the last 2, 3 months.
Okay. Yeah, it feels like it's really ramping up, and then it turns into, wow, why am I carrying this with me, and how do I clear it? Because our power center of our sacral and solar plexus, probably more so our solar plexus for power, but we analyze and we think and we try and figure things out with our gut. So sacral and solar plexus. And it kind of just feels to me, what I'm seeing is that it's on overdrive a little bit. And
Hmm.
then it clamps down because your system's like, whoa, this is too much to process. So then the flow to your heart chakra gets blocked a little bit, and then you might feel that frequency bubble up to your throat, and it just sits there because your system isn't processing the flow of vital, like vitality. There we go. I'm hearing all
Mm,
kinds of words. Vitality, the vital energy that you would need to flow through to consistently keep you in homeostasis and your equilibrium, and that flow of light coming in to help you, we'll use the words digest or process the emotions and information that does belong specifically to you.
hmm
So it kind of is creating like this domino effect or snowball effect. And so what we're going to do today is first start clearing, and, well, probably a better word would be softening and calming the energy in your aura, and then working to extract and pull out some of that frequency from your solar plexus and sacral that isn't yours, and then help. I mean, I'll see as I go along, I'll share with you I'll tell you what I'm seeing. But I feel like your sacral and solar plexus both are influenced. Your sacral chakra looks to me like it was just kind of crumpled up, like it just squeezed in on itself, kind of like fetal position. Like,
hmm
okay, I want no part of any of this. And we have these frequencies, these columns. Well, let's see a better way of it. You have your chakras, but I also will see beams, there we go, of light that extend from the chakras that go out like antennae, and they analyze information into the future. So outside of your aura and into the other dimensions. Yours looks like it's like, oh, I don't even know if I can do that today. Like, I
mm,
don't really want to play. So it kind of folds in on itself. And then your solar plexus chakra hasn't completely folded in as much, but it has collapsed a little bit, meaning it's like, I just want to hug myself so that I don't really have to engage, and you're blocking your energy from it. So once we take out the frequencies that are bothering your system, then they can both open and relax. And I also feel, I can see that some of your chakras, vortices, and those beams of light have folded, like knotted almost, but like a bow, so we need to
hmm
unwind it, just comb it out. So we'll be doing that. And as we are, you might feel emotions come up.
hmm
And so these emotions I am getting and I'm feeling would be your emotions. So it's
Okay.
safe, it's okay. It's whatever was caught in there, because you're like, I can't process that. I'm not going to take somebody else's karmic on, or their frequency of fear, lack,
hmm
doubt, shame, guilt. You're like, that's not mine.
Right.
So you stop that flow, but then you might have your own stuff that will now be able to flow through. So just breathe through that.
Okay.
So I just want to pause for a moment and ask if you have any questions, and if this resonates with what you've been experiencing.
Yeah, it's crazy how spot on it is, to be honest with you. And as much as I say, okay, well, I'm pretty in tune, I am in tune and I can feel a lot of that where you were saying in those chakras specifically, even when you were talking about it, I could kind of feel almost that crumpling essence. And yeah, everything sounds pretty straightforward, and I'm just excited to kind of comb that out and open that up and hopefully clear those blockages.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Oh, well, good. Okay, I'm so happy. And I love that when the messages come through, then sometimes your system will respond. So you're like, oh, that's what that was. Man, I recognize I've been carrying this, or I had that sensation just yesterday. So it
Hmm.
amplifies so that you get the message like, this is it. So you should notice, especially over the next few days, more of a lightness, like, oh wow, I can breathe, or there's this pressure on me that's gone now,
Hmm.
and and a little bit more clarity within your own relationship with yourself. So how you process your own emotions and perspectives and thoughts on things. And then as you progress into working with others or going to the grocery store, just daily life, you'll see that it's a little bit clearer. But Michael, Metatron, and Ariel, Raguel, all these beautiful angels are here, and they're reminding me of something they shared at the very beginning, but I didn't vocalize. And that is, okay, well, how can we assist you so this doesn't occur again? So
Hmm.
like what might be going on? And so number one is the knowledge around it and recognizing, oh, this really isn't mine. And number two is talking about how to interact with that or not. What do we do when we're presented with frequencies that aren't ours? So some of that information will be coming through. And then number three is I'll look at your energy field to see if there's any depletion in the aura or a rip, a tear, something like an opening, a way that it was getting in.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a lot for me. I can just feel the energy. I'm like, okay, guys, where do we start?
Yeah.
Um, so they're saying, well, we're going to start with the energy work. We're going to start with the clearing
Okay.
work. And then I'm feeling, so we'll see how it goes. And if
Okay.
it isn't like this, it's always fun because you'll know that Spirit's leading the way. But I'm kind of feeling like after that, we'll go into what was going on with your system,
Hmm.
how it came in. And then I think we'll probably close that whole message and conversation around this aspect with how do we engage or not? Like, how do we respond and work with that when it happens? And I think that will be something that all of us will be so happy to hear.
Hmm.
So, yes. And to that, as you mentioned, when you were sharing that you are very sensitive and in tune,
Hmm.
absolutely. So then the layering of that is it can be confusing.
Hmm. Absolutely. And I think that's my biggest challenge with that.
Hmm.
And like you were saying, what do I do with this energy? How do I create that energetic boundary around myself to kind of streamline things better?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see specifically as I'm working with you in your energy field, you'll get messages specifically for you. And then when we follow it up with information for everyone, I think, you and I can take that in too. So it'll be
Hmm.
it'll be nice. Like, oh, thank you. So go ahead and relax. And
Okay.
they're sharing that the energy's already started to shift for you today. There's a lessening of intensity at the heart chakra. So these beautiful archangels are lifting energy off of your aura, especially near the heart space. And it kind of looks like if there was a plastic film and they just pulled it,
Hmm.
so you might start to notice that lightening feeling. And then, in addition to that, it's going to open space for you to feel like, oh, I can breathe and expand. So, any of your energetic, I want to call them, what do I want to call them? I see it. It's energy that was stored there, and they look like little bubbles or little pearls. And so they might come up, and your chakra can spit them out or roll them around and analyze it like you're tasting it, like with your tongue. Like if you put something in your mouth and you're rolling it around on your tongue to sense all of the flavors, your heart chakra actually is analyzing what's coming up, rolling it around in the chakra system. And some of it, it's like, nope, I don't want that. It's not mine. And it spits it out. And then the others is like, oh, okay. Yeah, I really need to integrate that moment, that wisdom, that emotion, what came up for me. And so, because of that, your guides are sharing that over the next 2 to 3 weeks, you'll have clarity on things. So, when we say, oh, that's really been sitting on my heart, or maybe you had an argument or a misunderstanding with somebody like a few weeks ago, and or a year ago, who knows, right? But if it comes up in your memory in a few days or a few weeks, know that that's because your heart chakra is reprocessing it, or for the
Mm-hmm.
first time really getting a chance to get a good look at it. So
Got it.
yeah, be kind to yourself if it feels like, oh my gosh, what's all of this about all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden?
Good to know.
So yeah, yeah. Okay, love. So let's go to the healing portion here. So get in a comfortable space. I'm just going to move my mic so I can scoot back a little myself. Okay, so I will share with you mostly what I'm seeing. And I like you to be able to have an opportunity to relax into the experience. So if you hear my voice and it just sounds like far and in the distance and you want to fade away without remembering, that's perfect too. Like
Okay.
you'll have the recording to come back
Okay.
to.
Great.
Yeah. And then for those who are listening, they'll have a feeling or an understanding of what's happening as
Okay.
well. Okay, so we're setting the space. There's a beautiful frequency. It's a aqua blue. There's a bright cobalt blue, and there's like a more aqua green. So these waves of light are coming in around your energy field. And they're really coming up right now around, well, it's interesting. The areas we were speaking about, your solar plexus and sacral, heart and throat, but in different dimensions or closer and then further away from your physical body. And they're starting to clear energy out. And it's like an effervescent vibration of oxygenation that's coming in like bubbles of light. So go ahead and relax as we're beginning to set and stabilize your energy field. And I see some of your chakras opening, they're dilating and opening a bit more. Energy's coming out that you've been holding on to. And this is where your guides and angels have come in, and they have like these baskets. And then some places they're putting a tube, kind of like a ductwork system, and it's sucking it out like a vacuum. So you can just let it go, and it's flowing into the light for transmutation and healing. So we're working in a very clean way where we're not just leaving the energy in your room to like fall out on the floor or something. So it's really healed and fully analyzed wherever it needs to go. It can be analyzed and transmuted. And if you feel a pressure, just kind of breathe. And you can visualize light coming in and helping to release it, because it looks like one of those pearl energies that was in your heart chakra has decided it wants to come up through your throat. and so and so let me see what's going on here. Okay, so it's sharing with me that something happened where you didn't quite vocalize your emotion about it. And so your heart, and then your heart was holding on to it, and your throat chakra now, like the vision I see is you screaming, just like just getting it out. And when that happens, your throat chakra opened, and that frequency that was in this ball just released, and it turned into light. So there was a lot in there. And you don't really have to scream, but if you want to, you can. That's what it felt like, is if you had screamed, and just really let it out, it would have released sooner. But it might not have been appropriate, So your body, I'm hearing, is using your maturity, your wisdom, and the grace of knowing when these frequencies can, if you release them on another person, then it wouldn't, it would cause harm. It wouldn't be the best. And so you've decided to take the higher road or be the bigger person and hold on to it. So they're saying, but you held on to it a little long, so they're helping to release it. And I can see the back of your heart chakra starting to open. And now I'll be working more towards your sacral chakra. And there's a beautiful frequency of orange coming in around to stabilize and to charge up this space, not in the chakra, but around it. It's offering your chakra some energy. And your chakra is responding very nicely. Kind of like, oh, what's that? Yeah, maybe I'll have some of that. That feels really good. And as it does, it's uncrumpling. It's opening a bit more. It's kind of taking its time, which is nice. Okay, so I'm also helping it to unwind a bit, and I'm extracting and pulling out some energies that don't belong there. So more light is starting to come through. And you can kind of just sense and feel your sacral chakra. It's a little out of alignment, so I'm just adjusting it, putting it back into alignment. And you might notice more energy flowing down your legs and a warmth, because now the pathway has been reestablished for energy to flow. And some frequencies are coming up now at your heart and throat, so we're working to help those release. And if you do feel like your body wants to cough or yawn or sneeze, you can do any of that. Just whatever needs to happen, allow. Yeah, that's helping, but I think you can even, if you want, feel free to do a deeper. I'm like, it moved about halfway. There you go. That was actually really pretty because when that released, I saw bright green come in at your heart. So you've opened up. Yeah, that's the first time I'm really seeing the green in the heart chakra. So that's telling me the energy is clearing and the frequencies are lightening and really enhancing. So that's so pretty. Now it's going to be at your throat. And I'm really sensitive in that part of the way I work is I'll feel it in my body too. So if I burp, hey, like I can feel it. It's like wanting to come out. That's just a part of
Yeah.
it. So, yeah. But we're opening, even at the mouth, at your mouth, right
Mm-hmm.
here. I feel it opening, and then here is an opening. And all from your crown, midline back to the back of your heart, this pathway. I can see it lighting up and opening. So, what's so beautiful is by making some of these slight adjustments, other areas of your body are now lighting up and the energy's flowing through. So, it's looking really, really pretty. And I'm just observing and checking in to see how things are flowing. So, one moment. Oh my gosh, I'm laughing a little because there's a little energy, a little like animated critter kind of energy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a thought form, so I'm like, oh my gosh, because it's kind of being silly, and I'm like, so it's out in your aura, and it's like right here talking. It's moving really quickly, and it's not a soul, it's not a spirit, it's energy
Okay.
of thought
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like created its own little life. But I'm looking at it. It's playful, but it's really active. It's like it's overactive. And so let me just talk to this and see. So one
Okay.
second here. Okay. It's like a portion of yourself that wants to know what's going on. And this portion of yourself helps you a lot to analyze when you're in critical thinking moments. So,
Mm-hmm.
or if you work on, I don't know if you, what you do, but if it's like an office job or something, you have to organize and analyze. And if you are in charge of multiple tasks, it's helping you arrange things and taking all the papers on your desk and pile them nicely and stacking them. So this part of you came out and it was like, what's going on? And it's looking at yourself from out here. And it was like moving around because you're analyzing all of your system too. So it's
Mm.
really cute. Yeah, that's why at first I was like smiling because I'm like, oh, what's this sweet little fun energy?
That's really
And
interesting.
yeah, it's so interesting. And I was watching it and then getting what was happening here, and then it went right back in your crown chakra. So it's like,
Oh,
oh, okay, yeah. So sometimes when you're analyzing, you pop out, an aspect of you will pop out to see. And so when you talk about like being really sensitive or having a lot of clair-gifts, that's also probably part of it. Like your whole system is very aware of what's happening in the energetic world, and not only within your own aura pertaining to yourself, but from time to time, it will turn focus outward to see what's going on with others that you're interacting with. The archangels are coming forward, they're stepping forward now, they're saying the situation with feeling and taking in energy from the collective and others that was really starting to weigh you down is a
mm-hmm.
different situation. And they're showing me the edge of your aura. So, like, usually we'll have a 4 to 6 inch field that are like a band of energy that buffers the edge of the aura.
Mm-hmm.
And yours is a little bit smaller, like maybe 3 inches around there. And I see a lot of browns in it that's dirty energy. Because brown can also be healing earth energy, but this is like it's starting to accumulate.
Okay.
And there's a little fissure, so there's a little tear down near your sacral where some of that energy was pushing and it cracked and it leaked through. So it's like a river or a stream of that energy just going to your sacral chakra. And that's why your sacral chakra was super overwhelmed. This came from a series of events. So just being worn down but also they're showing me that a lot of your awareness was placed in the higher chakras for, it feels like work and thinking, so
Mm-hmm.
projects and that kind of a thing. And then also like when you interact with others, it was very heart focused and heart space. So, and sometimes your solar plexus, but your sacral chakra, you really didn't have your awareness working around that space so much. So it wasn't actively generating its own flow of light. It kind of was a little quiet, which left it susceptible to energy leaking in and building up and not processing it. So even if we don't typically use a particular chakra for the big portion of the day, it is always nice to do exercise where you breathe into each chakra at least once a week to make sure it's going, like a tune up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that could have helped your energy to, I'm hearing fight it off. So their words, fight it off and not become so susceptible to it. But it really probably would not have healed the full crack, the full fissure where it came in. So I was asking, and they were showing with me that there was a forceful energy. It feels male dominated. Somebody that felt like, well, basically they overstepped a boundary. They felt they had permission, or that for whatever reason, the dynamics of your relationship would allow them to get really close to you energetically. And I don't, I mean, you pissed him off, is what I'm hearing. So, like, you told him no, whatever it was, and this could just, I mean, it could be a colleague, it could be somebody that you work with at work, or it can be somebody in your life as a relationship. But your energy was like, I don't think so, buddy. And so they were pushing back. And the pressure on that part of your aura is what created the leak, because your chakra was already kind of like undercharged. So our chakras help to fuel the aura, and you want a buoyant, bright, strong aura. And so because it was susceptible or it was depleted a little bit, this push of energy at you ripped it just a little bit. And then it's allowed energy of the collective to get in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, yeah, yeah. So, I don't know what, share with me how you're feeling about everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, as soon as you started explaining that, especially just that back and forth nature and the pressuring and all of that, there's one relationship in particular in my life that's been that way for quite some time. And it's something that's worn on me for a long time. So I'm wondering if that has any relation to that. But even just the acknowledgement of it, even just makes me feel even a little bit lighter, knowing like, okay, yes, this has totally been something that, has been depleting, completely depleting. So, yeah, no, that
Hmm.
makes sense in that regard.
Yeah, yeah. I'm hearing relentless, like this person is relentless. They just can't quite take no as a no
Hmm.
or recognize a boundary kind of a thing. So, um, yeah, and because there's quite a bit of different vibrations in your energy field right now that when I share something activates. And so I do keep getting this frequency of like work life. So I'm not sure if he's related to work life, or in your moments you're like, I'm trying to focus on my work life and you're trying to get in, but there's like that combination of work frequencies, and then this person pushing, like they're just oblivious to, like that's not cool. They
Yeah.
just don't quite get it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, okay. So, what we'll do is, by the way, your chakra's looking a lot better. I mean, it's not fully strengthened, but it's coming, it's waking up. Like it was like wanted no part of anything. And now it's like, oh, okay, I might consider
That's good
like,
news.
yeah, getting back involved here. So I think once that toxic energy stops draining on it, it'll be more, yeah, it's like, because it just showed me an umbrella. It's like, I need an umbrella for me to,
Hmm.
like stop this rain of energy coming at me.
Right.
So, yeah. So what we'll do is I want to go in and fix that tear.
Okay.
and they're already sucking that energy out of that fissure. So yeah, we're gonna clean up. It's like like an oil spill or something, So you have to
Sure.
go in there and clean it up, and seal your aura back up. So okay, beautiful. All right,
Yeah.
go ahead and relax. Here we go. I'm already feeling a release at your heart, like, oh, I can breathe. And then they're putting gems, etheric gemstones in each chakra to help stabilize them. Okay, so I can see the energy in your aura. I can see it moving and taking like a different flow now. So that's really good. It's like where it kind of looked like something in a stream, or the, yeah, we'll just do that. The water would try to go around it and it would hit, a disruption. And that was the fissure. And now that it's smoothing out and sealing up, it's like the energy can now have unrestricted flow in your aura. So I'm just watching it move around. And you might feel some vibrations at the base of your skull, top of your crown, because we're working in multiple places right now. As I'm stabilizing your energy field, I can see light returning to different areas, and your system is brightening. And these chakra points, the minor chakra points that were dimmed down, are now opening and turning on. There's some more energy at your heart, your chest that we're releasing. And I'm just watching the flow of energy go throughout your whole body now. So things are opening, which is beautiful. And I can feel your aura. Your aura is strengthening. And we're clearing. So the energy, your guides and angels. I can see that the outer part of the aura, where that brown had deposited, or all of the deposits created the brown frequency, that is lightening as well. So this is really pretty because with every adjustment, more light comes in. I can see the energy flowing. And I keep noticing that it will release more from your heart space. So you were holding on to a lot. And not only was it that you were feeling vibrations in your aura or coming to you from outside of yourself, there was also energy within yourself that now, they're saying has permission to leave. So I don't know why you might have felt like you were holding on to some of it, but okay, they're showing because some of it's emotion, or there's information for you to analyze around what was happening at your sacral. So our chakras work together. They also look out for each other. And so your heart would be like, okay, there's so much to this situation. I mean, your whole body, your whole awareness, your whole soul and spirit would be like, there's so much to this situation, and I have to look at it in multiple ways and hold space for this in multiple places within yourself. So your chakra of your heart was just holding space for this to work itself out. And now that it has, I'm seeing energy clearing and releasing. So probably I'm getting like over 3 to 4 days. You might notice just randomly, more come up and release. So breathe through it.
Mm-hmm.
Drink, and drink a lot of fluids. And if you feel like energy stuck somewhere, you can make a salt paste and rub it on, but I wouldn't take a salt bath right away, is what I'm getting.
Okay.
Yeah, because salt negates energy, and we've just done a lot of work with positive energy. So,
Mm-hmm.
it negates, it doesn't know if it's negative or positive, like it just negates it.
Got it.
Yeah. But if you feel a blockage, you can do that. And then, okay, so what they're sharing, and this is for everybody, like some ways to work with it. If you feel a heaviness at your heart, you can put a crystal on to absorb or transmute. It's really what your intentions are. So if it's already there, you can put like a smoky quartz and or a darker crystal, and it will absorb it. And you can
Mm-hmm.
put to amplify and strengthen your energy. You can do like a malachite or a fluorite or a rose quartz, so a pink or a green. So they all have different, intentions, because then, like, if you're doing it to strengthen it, that would be that your heart chakra can strengthen and that energy will transmute it. So you can just play around and work with it. You can also do, I'm getting a amethyst, like kind of at the clavicle, high heart.
Okay.
So that would really help you. How are you feeling? Do you have any
Yeah.
questions?
So no questions necessarily, but after probably halfway through here, I am feeling definitely much more calm, able, it's funny, especially when it comes to breathing, realizing just not even being able to take a full breath because of just that stagnance right in there. And now I'm starting to feel, not that I can fully take, that big, large, encompassing breath yet, but I definitely feel relief there. So that feels really nice, considering the fact that, without realizing it for the longest time, I've had that kind of situation happening. Um, but yeah, it feels good to have that relief from it.
Oh, good. That makes me so happy. Yeah, it will continue gradually, amplifying more light in the body and improving. So I'm trying to figure like what are the best words here. But it will continue because your body will continue adjusting. So then there will be more releases, but with every release it's like, oh, it's like something was wrapped around you and now it's gone, or there's a block in there and that's gone, so more light
Hmm.
and flow and oxygen can come through physical body and also energy body. Um, so it's looking really good. And I can still just kind of watch, you know, I would say you probably will feel it the most at your throat and heart, which is very interesting considering was causing it for the most part. The initial
Hmm.
source was what was happening at your sacral chakra. And your solar plexus is looking good too. I know we talked about it in the assessment portion, but it's flowing now as well. So it kind of woke up and was like, oh, this is good stuff here. I'm on
Hmm.
board
Yeah.
as we were flowing through. So I didn't have to personally work specifically with that, with your solar plexus chakra, but your whole system works together. And
Hmm.
so it's looking really nice. And so what we could say as far as information to support, working with the collective energy, they are saying maintenance and care of your energy field and the chakras, similar to what they were sharing earlier. But they're saying you can use sound waves to clear it daily or weekly. Tuning
Hmm.
forks are nice. I mean, I have crystal bowls, but it can even be just music on your phone.
Hmm.
They did specifically share tuning forks, is what I'm
Okay.
saying. So you could get a tuning fork and clear your aura with it. So you gently bring the light, or well, it is light, the frequency in, And if the fork hits a resistance, then you know, oh, I've got a block here or a lot of energy that shouldn't be there.
Hmm.
But you can work on the outside of the aura and then come in, and the tuning fork will resonate for a very long time. So you strike it once or twice, and then just like when I first started working with one for my third eye, I couldn't feel it, so I hit it like 4 or 5 times,
Hmm.
and it takes a minute to vibrate.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, I think I just did way too much.
Oh, oops.
So yeah, so ease into it.
Okay.
Yeah, but that can help you just to like stay really clear of frequencies that are disrupting. And if it does belong to you, like if it is our stuff, then we feel it and we process it. And sometimes we can know with our mind and analyze and like, yeah, and we don't have to feel it because we can clear it. But there's a divine, beautiful experience that happens with all of this is when we work on ourselves, we will get messages and we will get healing. It's not like we are avoiding anything or not taking responsibility. So if you had an altercation or an interaction and you're just like, I just don't even want to feel any of it, it's not going to take it away until you, whatever your soul will let you know, hey, you know, you need to recognize this portion is your responsibility, or really there's more information in that you should acquire for wisdom. So if it persists and it sticks around, there's more to it. But we
Hmm.
always can start to clear it, because like if you had an altercation and somebody came over and they had a big bucket, this is what they're showing me. They have this big bucket they're carrying with all this BS in it. I mean, it literally looks like little toys and seashells and just random knickknacks, and they dump it out. Oh, and there's water in there too, and mud like sand. They just dump it and pour it on your kitchen table, and you're like, okay, you just dropped like this big mess, and how much of that really is mine? You know, how
Hmm.
much of what they were carrying was related to your relationship? It might be a marble, you know, it might be
Hmm.
the smallest thing. So then what would happen is when you would ask to clear that, all the energy that wasn't related to you can release, but your higher self would say, but that marble is mine. And then you
Hmm.
guys, or you can talk about it or within yourself, work with it. And you'll have moments. And this is when we can do a lot of healing kind of behind the scenes on our own with our thoughts and working with spirit. Is like, wow, okay. And so you might remember, yeah, I guess I was a little hard. Oh, I could see where when I said that, how it affected them. And so then you can speak to them in the physical or in spirit. You
Okay.
can do that. But this is a fun little vision I've never seen before. So that's what I love when they
Interesting.
share. Yeah, yeah, a whole bucket of nonsense.
Yeah.
So so that's kind of how it helps when you daily maintain the energy field, and that it's not going to take away things that we aren't accountable for.
Hmm.
But it will help you to clear the stuff that one person or the collective just kind of, you know, dumped on you,
Hmm.
or that you came in connection with. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. Any questions for me?
Yeah, so real quickly, so I interact with people, on a daily basis, right? And should this kind of self-tuning be done in between each person that I see? Because just to kind of give you a background of what I do, I take clients throughout the day. And so I'm kind of, taking on bits and pieces as I go through.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the day, I'm realizing, oh man, I'm like extremely drained because, of course, I've taken on little bits of all their stuff. So, would it be wise to almost kind of tune up a little bit between each of them somehow? Or how could I
Yeah.
do that?
I mean, I think it would be for sure, especially as you're still reestablishing your health, you know, of your chakras, and you're still strengthening your aura. So there's a lot of different ways. You could get a tuning fork. You could do visualizations with light coming in. But I will share that if we feel depleted and are like we just feel really bad about ourselves, or if it's too heavy, sometimes it can be challenging to then harness light and have it,
Hmm.
so that you can pray and ask for your guides or angels to come in. But if you find like, oh my gosh, it's really weighing down, I need an outside source to help me here. So that's when sound can come in.
Hmm.
You can get essential oil spray and spray it
Hmm.
in your aura. If you even have an aromatherapy, diffuser to put in your office and let
Hmm.
that come through. And also music. So whatever music helps you feel better, any kind
Okay.
of music. But yeah, and the biggest thing is just taking like a deep breath in between and visualize or clear your energy field. There's a technique called dry bath where you just rub the energy off your body and out of
Okay.
your aura. And in pranic healing, we do that and put it in salt water, like a
Hmm.
bucket of salt water, and then you dump it down the toilet
Hmm.
only, nowhere else.
Okay.
So there's different techniques, and depending on the interaction and how heavy it is and how you're feeling, these are some ways. Some people will say, because I'm hearing somebody's out there saying sage, incense,
Hmm.
smoke, drums, but
Hmm.
that can work. But everything besides that is what I got for you from your
Okay,
guides.
great.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds wonderful.
And then there's also if you get big chunks of crystals and place them around for absorbing energy, you can
Okay.
clear them though, like weekly or monthly, kind of
Okay.
just depending. But I am seeing like a big smoky quartz.
Okay.
And then you could bring in an amethyst because they help each other. Amethyst will,
Hmm.
will bring in like so the amethyst really will charge the space, we'll say that. And the smoky quartz will help absorb the negativity
Got it.
and diffuse it. And then, but you want to love on them and all the stuff that we do with our crystals.
Yeah. Yeah. Treat
Yeah.
them good.
Yeah. Yes. So you already kind of mentioned you're feeling a little bit better.
Hmm.
Anything else you'd like to share with me or the listeners?
Yeah. Overall, I will say energetically, I've been feeling super bogged down and just tired and depleted. And even going into the session before starting, I was like, okay, power through. Come on, you can do this.
Hmm.
And now I actually feel a little bit more clear-headed and, like I said earlier, a little bit lighter, a little bit more energetic. So I'm hoping, as like you were saying, the couple days go on, I'll start to kind of
Yeah.
feel a little bit more of that. But no, yeah, it's great to hear, especially you not knowing my background or anything, and these certain things kind of bubble up to the surface. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Like I know these things. That's happening for sure. But I love the reassurance of that. And I also love the fact that you see those things and are able to help me kind of smooth things out. And it gives me also just peace of mind knowing that, okay, yes, you've got this, your help is
Hmm.
here, whether it's my angels or my guides or what have you. And for me, I think that's the biggest thing is for whatever reason, I seek the reassurance to just tell myself, like, oh, yeah, that's right. Like,
Yeah.
these things and all that. But no,
Yeah.
this has been a lovely experience. So I appreciate that.
Oh, you're so welcome. Oh my gosh, thank you for sharing. I got a couple little messages for you that came through with that. You can spend time out grounding to help because what's happened now is the where restrictions were, where things were contracted, they've expanded and opened. So
Hmm.
now your flow is available for, so like your channel can have more energy come in. And that's where you're starting to feel, wow, I feel more energized. So, really, to boost that and enhance that is like over this weekend, ground just by putting your feet on grass,
Hmm.
like be out in nature, and that will really
Yep.
help you.
Okay.
Absolutely. And yeah, you're lighting up more. So you're like areas that were dim because just a lack of energy,
Hmm.
light, it's like lighting up, and some of that was around your mind. So yeah, you'll be able to feel better and think better,
Nice.
more clearly and energized. So, oh, I'm so happy. Just so happy.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you so much for allowing us to all be a part of your healing experience today. And I want to thank our listeners for tuning in. And I'm sharing lots of love, beautiful light. I'm wishing you all an amazing day.